time when every man did what was right in his own eyes, a famine forced a family into foreign soil. One by one, death claimed everything she loved. Naomi, whispering, voice trembling, full of sorrow, "Go back to your gods. I have nothing left to give you." Ruth responded, "Where you go, I will go. Where you die, I will die." But in the field of the wealthy, redemption is hidden, and danger waits in the shadows. A midnight encounter, a secret claim, a dangerous tradition that could shatter bloodlines or seal a divine legacy. One woman, one choice, one bloodline that would change the world forever. Her name is... A long time ago, when judges were leading Israel, there was a famine in the land. A man from Bethlehem in Judah went to live in Moab for a while with his wife and 2 sons. His name was Elimelech. His wife's name was Naomi. His 2 sons were Mahlon and Chilion. They were from Bethlehem in Judah. They went to Moab and stayed there. Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left with her 2 sons. The sons married Moabite women. One was named Orpah, and the other was named Ruth. They lived there for about 10 years. Then Mahlon and Chilion also died. Naomi was now alone without her husband or her 2 sons. Naomi heard in Moab that the Lord had helped his people in Judah by giving them food again. So she and her daughters-in-law got ready to leave Moab and return home. Naomi left the place where she had been living. Her daughters-in-law went with her on the road back to Judah. Naomi said to them, "Go back home to your mothers. May the Lord be kind to you, just like you were kind to my sons and to me. May the Lord help you find new husbands and give you good homes." Then she kissed them goodbye. They cried loudly. They said to her, "No, we will go with you to your people." But Naomi said, "Go back, my daughters. Why should you come with me? Do I still have sons in my womb who could become your husbands? Go back, my daughters. I am too old to have another husband, even if I thought there was still hope for me. If I got married tonight and had sons, would you wait until they grew up? Would you stay unmarried for them? No, my daughters. It's much more bitter for me than for you because the Lord has turned against me." They cried again. Then Orpah kissed Naomi goodbye, but Ruth stayed with her. Naomi said, "Look, your sister-in-law is going back to her people and her gods. You should go with her." But Ruth said, "Don't make me leave you or turn back. Where you go, I will go. Where you live, I will live. Your people will be my people. Your God will be my God. Where you die, I will die, and that is where I'll be buried. May the Lord punish me terribly if I let anything but death separate us." When Naomi saw that Ruth had made up her mind to go with her, she stopped trying to convince her. So the 2 of them went on until they came to Bethlehem. When they arrived in Bethlehem, the whole town was stirred up. The women asked, "Is this Naomi?" But she said to them, "Don't call me Naomi, call me Mara, because the Almighty has made my life very bitter. I had everything when I left, but the Lord has brought me back with nothing. Why call me Naomi? The Lord has spoken against me, and the Almighty has made my life hard." So Naomi returned from Moab, and Ruth the Moabite, her daughter-in-law, came with her. They arrived in Bethlehem at the beginning of the barley harvest. Naomi had a relative on her late husband's side. He was a rich and important man from Elimelech's family. His name was Boaz. Ruth the Moabite said to Naomi, "Let me go to the fields and pick up leftover grain behind anyone who lets me." Naomi said, "Go ahead, my daughter." So Ruth went out and began to pick up leftover grain in the fields behind the workers. It just so happened that she was working in a field that belonged to Boaz, who was from Elimelech's family. Then Boaz arrived from Bethlehem and said to the workers, "May the Lord be with you." They answered, "May the Lord bless you." Boaz asked the man in charge of his workers, "Who is that young woman?" The man replied, "She is the Moabite woman who came back from Moab with Naomi. She asked if she could gather leftover grain behind the workers. She has been working hard from morning until now with only a short rest." Boaz said to Ruth, "Listen, my daughter, don't go and pick grain in another field. Stay here and work with my servant girls. Watch where the men are harvesting and follow along behind the women. I've told the men not to touch you. When you're thirsty, go and get a drink from the water jars the men have filled." Ruth bowed down, face to the ground, and asked him, "Why are you being so kind to me? I'm just a foreigner." Boaz answered, "I've heard everything you've done for your mother-in-law since your husband died. I know you left your father, mother, and homeland to live with people you didn't know before. May the Lord reward you for what you've done. May the God of Israel bless you richly. You've come to him for safety under his wings." Ruth said, "You are very kind to me, sir. You have comforted me and spoken kindly, even though I'm not one of your servant girls." At mealtime, Boaz said to her, "Come over here, have some bread and dip it in the vinegar." So she sat with the workers. Boaz gave her some roasted grain. She ate all she wanted and even had some left over. As she got up to gather more grain, Boaz told his workers, "Let her gather even among the bundles. Don't stop her. Pull out some stalks for her on purpose and leave them for her to pick up. Don't scold her." So Ruth gathered grain in the field until evening. Then she beat out the barley she had gathered. It was about a full basket of grain. She carried it back to town. Her mother-in-law saw how much she had gathered. Ruth also gave her the food left over from lunch. Naomi asked her, "Where did you gather grain today? Where did you work? May the man who helped you be blessed." So Ruth told her mother-in-law about the man whose field she had worked in. "His name is Boaz," she said. Naomi said, "May the Lord bless him. He has not stopped showing kindness to the living and the dead." She added, "That man is our close relative. He is one of our family's guardian redeemers." Then Ruth said, "He also told me, 'Stay with my workers until they finish harvesting all my grain.'" Naomi said to Ruth, "That's good, my daughter. Stay with his servant girls. You might be harmed if you go to someone else's field." So Ruth stayed close to the servant girls of Boaz and gathered grain until the barley and wheat harvests were finished. And she kept living with her mother-in-law. One day Naomi, Ruth's mother-in-law, said to her, "My daughter, I must find a home for you so you will be taken care of. Boaz, whose servant girls you've been working with, is a close relative of ours. Tonight, he'll be winnowing barley at the threshing floor. Take a bath, put on perfume, and dress in your best clothes. Then go down to the threshing floor. But don't let him see you until he has finished eating and drinking. Watch where he lies down. Then go and uncover his feet and lie down there. He will tell you what to do." Ruth said, "I'll do everything you say." So she went down to the threshing floor and did everything her mother-in-law told her to do. After Boaz had finished eating and drinking, he was in a good mood. He went to lie down at the far end of the grain pile. Ruth quietly approached, uncovered his feet, and lay down. In the middle of the night, something startled Boaz. He turned over and saw a woman lying at his feet. He asked, "Who are you?" She answered, "I'm Ruth, your servant. Spread your cloak over me, because you are a family redeemer." Boaz said, "The Lord bless you, my daughter. This kindness is even greater than what you showed before. You didn't run after the younger men, whether rich or poor. Now don't worry, my daughter. I will do everything you ask. Everyone in town knows that you are a good woman. It's true that I am a family redeemer, but there is another man who is more closely related than I am. Stay here for the night. In the morning, if he wants to redeem you, good, let him. But if he doesn't want to, I promise by the Lord that I will. Lie here until morning. So she lay at his feet until morning, but got up while it was still dark. Boaz said, "Don't let anyone know that a woman came to the threshing floor." Then he said, "Bring me your shawl and hold it out." When she did, he poured 6 measures of barley into it and placed it on her back. Then he went back to town. When Ruth came to her mother-in-law, Naomi asked, "How did it go, my daughter?" Ruth told her everything Boaz had done for her. She said, "He gave me all this barley. He said, 'Don't go back to your mother-in-law empty-handed.'" Naomi said, "Wait, my daughter, until we find out what happens. Boaz won't rest until he settles the matter today." Boaz went to the town gate and sat down there. Just then, the family redeemer he had talked about came by. Boaz said, "Come over here and sit down, my friend." So the man came and sat down. Boaz took 10 of the town leaders and said, "Sit here." And they sat down. Then Boaz said to the man, "Naomi, who came back from Moab, is selling the land that belonged to our relative Elimelech. I thought I should tell you about it and say, 'Buy it in front of the people sitting here and the elders of my people. If you will redeem it, do so. But if not, tell me, so I'll know. Because you are first in line to redeem it, and I am next after you." The man said, "I will redeem it." Then Boaz said, "On the day you buy the land from Naomi, you must also take Ruth the Moabite, the dead man's widow. That way the name of the dead man will stay with his property." The man replied, "Then I cannot redeem it. I might harm my own estate. You redeem it yourself. I cannot do it." In earlier times in Israel, when people made a deal about property or land, one person would take off his sandal and give it to the other. This was how they made agreements legal in Israel. So the family redeemer said to Boaz, "Buy it yourself." And he took off his sandal. Then Boaz said to the elders and all the people, "Today you are witnesses that I have bought from Naomi everything that belonged to Elimelech, Kilion, and Mahlon. I have also taken Ruth the Moabite, Mahlon's widow, to be my wife. This keeps the name of the dead man with his land, so it will not be lost among his relatives or from his hometown. You are witnesses today." Then all the people at the gate and the elders said, "We are witnesses. May the Lord make this woman who is coming into your home like Rachel and Leah. They built the family of Israel. May you be successful in Ephrathah and famous in Bethlehem. May your family be like the family of Perez, the son Tamar had by Judah, because of the children the Lord will give you through this young woman." So Boaz married Ruth, and she became his wife. When he slept with her, the Lord made her able to have a baby, and she gave birth to a son. The women said to Naomi, "Praise the Lord. Today he has given you a family redeemer. May this child become famous in Israel. He will bring new life to you and take care of you when you're old. Your daughter-in-law loves you, and she is better to you than 7 sons. She has given him birth." Naomi took the baby, held him close, and cared for him. The neighbor women said, "Naomi has a son," and they named him Obed. He became the father of Jesse, who was the father of David. This is the family line of Perez. Perez was the father of Hezron. Hezron was the father of Ram. Ram was the father of Amminadab. Amminadab was the father of Nahshon. Nahshon was the father of Salmon. Salmon was the father of Boaz. Boaz was the father of Obed. Obed was the father of Jesse. And Jesse was the father of David. Ruth's story isn't just an ancient tale, it's a mirror. It whispers to the forgotten, to the loyal, to those walking through shadow and silence. If this truth stirred something in you, don't scroll, speak. Comment, "I choose loyalty." Like this video if you still believe in purpose through pain. Subscribe to uncover more sacred stories, buried in dust but not forgotten. Because your legacy might begin in the shadows.